The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I think for quite a lot of people, this is a well-known Bible verse. And yet it's not one that sits very comfortably with us, is it? We like the idea of a cuddly God, the one who's on my side, who supports my views, who does what I think is right. And quite often, although we don't like to say it, the idea of a God who punishes those I don't like, who rejects those I disagree with, or, if we're being a bit more charitable, changes others to be like us. Or perhaps you reject God because actually we know deep down it makes us feel deeply uncomfortable that the idea of there being a God actually might affect what we think and believe. The irony being, of course, is that either we fear God or we fear everything else. Now, let me be clear. When I say we fear God, this is not about being terrified. This is about acknowledging the power and the authority that God has over us. I love the sea. I love dipping my toes into the water. I love diving and swimming. I love playing with my children. But if you know the sea, you know that she is a fickle mistress. 1 minute calm, the next minute raging. The sea has nothing against me, has nothing against you, but by its very nature, it will devour you if you don't respect it, if you don't acknowledge its power over you. 1 minute calm, the next minute torrents. We fear the sea, or we pay the price. And just as when we treat the sea with the fear that it deserves, that we enjoy it to its fullest and in the safest way, so it is that when we fear the Lord, then we find true safety. Then we find true peace. Then we find true security. And we find perfect love. We're told elsewhere in Scripture, perfect love casts out fear. There's a lot to be fearful of at the moment. Things are hugely uncertain with COVID-19, with the economy, with many of our jobs, with racism. And that's just mentioning the things at the top of the list for the majority of us. That's not even listing all of those things that would possibly bring fear in our lives. But when we fear God first, it is then that we know perfect love. And his perfect love casts out all fear. That's not saying there aren't things around that might make us stop for a moment. But when we fear God, we know that all those things are so much smaller. Because even if the worst came, we believe in a God of resurrection hope. And so the choice is simple, really. Do we fear God and therefore have no fear of anything else? Or do we reject God and have reason to be afraid of so many other things? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.